Hello, good evening. How are we? I'm good. Actually, just literally finished my dinner. I was at Cooksville tonight. Got back, took the dogs out a walk, and just I grabbed a nice healthy Scotch pie, and I've got some delicious what was it called? Strawberry with clotted cream milk. Rather tasty. Yeah. Good evening, all. Thanks for tuning in. Mark was at the Guns N' Roses concert last night. Whereabout was that, Mark? I've only seen Evening Colin. I've seen Guns N' Roses once, and it was actually on their debut when they played Castle Donington. Yeah, good band. So is Axl Rose? Is he back with them? He seems to kind of come and go. Interested. Let me know. So anyway, listen. I was just kind of as the credits were rolling, I was trying to think, what do we do? Do we stick with making the most of the micro, or do we move on to something else? And yeah, I know making the most of the micro is as dull as dishwater, but you know what? We're going to stick with it. We're going to see it through to the end. Oh, sorry, hear that, Colin? What's up, buddy? I hope you're all right, mate. I hope you've not got COVID, and I hope it's nothing serious, buddy. But listen, if I can put a smile on anyone's face, that always makes me happy. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, buddy. So anyway, yeah, we're going to watch more of me. Well, you know what I really need to do? I'm going to do it right now, actually. I'm going to get a little text document, and I'm going to type in here what we've got. So I've done 1 and 2. The plan is we're going to watch 3 and 4, and if we can be arsed, we'll watch another episode of Starcade. So let me just do that. Making the most. I've got absolutely shitloads of other stuff we can watch. But I think we want to get through all these. Making the most of the micro episode 3. I'll tell you what. If I put the 3 under there, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Starcade. That's episode 47. Okay. Right, cool. Yeah, listen, thanks. Like I said, thanks again for tuning in tonight. Oh my God, my dog. Has any of you guys got a dog? He's literally just farted, and it is bloody awful. Christ. Gig in Dublin. I was supposed to piss. What was this? Sorry, but it was sunny. Adele Rose lost a lot of weight. Adele Rose? Was that Axl Rose? Right. No, excellent. 3 hours. Good stuff. No, glad you enjoyed it, mate. Anyway, listen, I'm talking pish. Let's crack on when we can talk in the chat. So this coming up. Coming up is Making the Most of the Micro episode 3, and yeah, I know it is. It's as dry as a gnat's chuff, but anyway, that's how we rocked back in 1982, whenever it was. Video file. Hopefully the sound. Let me know about the volume. Let me know if it's too loud, not loud enough. So stand by, sit back, grab a coffee, and enjoy Making the Most of the Micro episode 3. Roll the credits. Let me know how they call out. Colin, let me know how the volume is, please, folks. Let me know if that's too loud. I can't keep it any louder. I can certainly make it not as loud if that's too loud. Cheers, Colin. Thanks for that, mate. Strings and things.
Legend has it that Glastonbury was the seat of King Arthur, and even the resting place of the Holy Grail. What's less well known is that until recently, it was also the centre of a healthy printing industry. Local authoress Frances Howard Gordon has just published a guide to local myths and legends and wants a properly printed press release. Normally, getting a manuscript set into type by a printer is expensive and time-consuming. But a new cottage based on the microcomputer has just sprung up in the area.
The copy you've got here is clean enough for us to read on the reader. So, hang on a minute. Okay, go. Watch.
An optical character reader does away with the need for retyping. The typewritten page is scanned line by line, and the words are read directly into the microcomputer's memory. Once it's in the machine, errors can be corrected and the text manipulated in a variety of ways.
That's got it all in anyway, but since it's you, I suppose we better run the spelling checker.
Don't be rude.
Check out the mullet in that guy.
Gog, well, that's the name of that tree, isn't it? We'd better tell it to accept it.
Oh, it doesn't know that, no.
Faces. Oh, you've got another spelling error there. Actors.
Oh.
When the text is correct, the next thing is to choose how it's going to appear when it's printed.
12 point will probably do for main text. And if we go for, say, about maybe 16 or 18 for your heads, what about emphasis? Bold or italic?
That guy's got quite a high-pitched voice, isn't it?
In a larger size. So we'll just
It all looks quite familiar, I don't know why.
Once Frances has chosen the sizes and styles of the final print, commands are put into the text to define how each section is to be printed.
We wanted to put all these Glastonbury Maker of Myths into italics. We do that with an
I haven't the foggiest what you're actually talking about, Colin, but it does sound impressive, mate.
The cursor stops and gives the operator the chance to decide whether he wants to set it in italics or not.
And let's just go and find it in each case. Well, that's one we don't want, so we'll give that one a miss. That's the one we do, so let's go back.
When they're happy with the text, it's sent directly to a photo typesetting machine.
Haven't the foggiest deal.
Each letter is drawn individually by a flying spot of light onto special photographic paper, ready for printing.
So here's Frances's finished document. As you can see, Glastonbury, Maker of Myths, is put into italics. Well, it was only a short document, but a whole book could have been set in type in only a short time.
There's the main man.
The same system.
He was like my first boss,
Of course, she could have put a manuscript straight into a word processor and sent it to the printers by post on a floppy disk, or even electronically down the telephone line. But how does a computer handle words? Well, it's important to make a distinction between numbers, on which we can do arithmetic, like the number 12, 2 12s, 24, etc., and strings of characters, by which we mean a collection of letters, symbols, spaces, and so on, such as the word 12, T-W-E-L-V-E. Well, I can best explain this difference by looking at a short program I've got here.
It's hard to imagine
when you
that
find a variable first equals 12, the number 12. We're going to print it,
something
and then
could
we'll
be
do a little bit of
duller
arithmetic on it.
than the computer program, but this exceeds it tenfold.
Well, as you'd expect, it prints out 12, which was the variable first, and then it adds 1 to it and prints
The
out
computer program was
14.
dull
But if we
to
want to
9.
handle
This
strings
is
of characters using the
taking
basic
up to
language, there
12.
are 2 things we have to do. First of all, we have to put a $ after the variable name, and we have to enclose whatever we're going to put into that variable in quotation.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of Paul McCartney at all.
And
I know I'm
that's a
kind of
very
unique,
simple program. We'll
but
do it the same
I'm
sort
not
of way.
keen on the guy at
First,
all. I
we
don't
put
really
in
like
the
his music, I
$sign
have to say.
equals,
Anyway, sorry, we should be paying attention.
in quotation marks, 12. And we'll print it. Print first.
Evening, Christoph. How are you, buddy?
And if we run that, we get 12 printed out. Now, of course, you can't do arithmetic on variables that are string variables, and it's quite interesting to see what happens if we try. And we'll copy that line, print first, and then we'll add 1 to it, plus 1. And we'll run it. And immediately the computer
Evening,
realizes
Steve.
we've made a mistake.
How are you, buddy?
Type mismatch at line 20. And what this means is that we're trying to mix up a string variable, first with a $
Just trying to improve my basic
number.
programming.
But of course, you can do certain things with variables, and you can actually use the plus sign. And we'll just copy that command again. Print first plus, and in inverted commas, which means it's a string variable, 1, and we'll run that. And it prints out 12 with 1 added on to the end of it. So what can we do with
Christ, this
string
is
variables
boring,
once they're
isn't
in the
it? Bloody
computer?
hell.
Well, in any decent version of BASIC, you'll remember there are almost as many...
I'm not too bad, thanks, Chris. Yeah, doing all right, mate. 4 weeks into a new job, so starting to settle in a wee bit, mate. But yeah, I'm all good,
how
thanks.
these commands are used if we take an example. Just have a look at these. What have they all got in common? Well, you've guessed it. They all read the same backwards as forwards. In other words, they're palindromes. So how can we instruct the computer to decide whether a word is a palindrome or not? What kind of things would we have to do? Well, let's create a couple of variables, string variables in this case. We'll call one word string, which is the word we're going to put in the computer to test whether it's a palindrome.
Oh God, I don't know if I can even hack another
which is the word we put in backwards.
Episode
now,
of
to
this.
get it backwards, all we have to do is to transfer characters one at a time from word string, and starting at the end character into backward string, and add it on to the end of whatever is in backward string until we've completed all 4 transfers. And then we've created the word backwards in backward string. Then we test whether this word is the same as that word. If it is a palindrome. If they're not the same, then it's not a palindrome. Well, we've written a fairly simple little computer program. It's only got 5 instructions, and we can see how that's done on the machine itself. And here it is. Well, you can see the first instruction, input word string.
Well, I'm going to have a vote.
We're going to test
Who wants to watch after this one finishes? Shall we watch another one of these, or shall we just skip it and
characters from word string
go straight to Starcade?
And what it takes is for place.
I like the old stuff, don't get me wrong, I do like the old stuff, I like, you know, reminiscing, but this is just, it's really,
we're going to go backwards, so we're going steps from -1, and each time we get to next place, we'll subtract
possibly
1
even
from
13.
the 4 we had, and loop around this loop 4 times. This instruction 30
hope you're feeling better about the
instruction, and what this is going to do is actually carry out that move, and it knows what to move by this function here, mid-string, and all this says is take the character, which is one character at a time, from the position place. In the first case, it's 4.
And we've got one vote for Starcade. But anyway, listen, I'll shut up, stop talking, we'll watch this, and then I think we'll jump to Starcade, and we might chuck in a micro live.
So let's look at that, how it works in practice. Well, first of all, we input the word into word string. There it is, Adam. We then take from position 4, one character, and place it into backward string. We then go round the loop again to next place, subtract 1. So
always nice to get a good turnout for these things. It's got nothing to do with me. It's more the fact that this is your weekly dose of vintage TV.
We'll then subtract 1 again, take the second character, add it on to what's already in.
That Steve is Mr. Ian McNaught Davis, aka Mac. He was in the computer program, he was in this, he was also in Micro Live as well. He's a bit up off it.
It's the same as that. And there is an instruction, if backwards equals word string, then print word string is a palindrome.
Evening, Matt.
Print word string is not a palindrome. So let's run it. It's asking me for the input. I'll put in Adam, the same words we had before.
Right, you know what?
Adam is not a palindrome.
I've had enough. I don't think I can stand anymore. Yeah, apologies to 8-Bit Steve. I know he enjoys it. Evening, Mike. That's just a bit dull, let's be honest. It really, really is. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to watch a Starcade, and then we'll take it down a notch and we'll watch a Micro Live. So yeah, let's go. So for your main course tonight, I give you Starcade episode 47. Let's go. Let's rock.
This is Starcade, TV's first video arcade game show, starring your favorite video games, and
starring
some brand
Jeff
new ones being
Edwards.
introduced to the public for the first time anywhere. And now, here's your host for Starcade, Jeff Edwards.
Hey, thank you very much, Kevin. Welcome to Starcade. Here we are backstage where our players are warming up for today's big match, because today, one of them, or should I say 2 of them, are going to have a great opportunity to win their very own video arcade game. Warm-up time is over. You guys ready to play Starcade? Yeah! All right, let's go.
All right. And before you're thinking, We've not watched 47 Star games.
All right, boy, we have a good group of contestants here today. And let's
Give
meet
it
them
a
right
break,
now. I see we
Jesus.
played the old Trick the MC game. We have two sets of twins, huh? All right, we'll start on my right. You are?
Corey Washington.
Yeah, we've got the
Good.
Jackson
You're Corey
5.
Washington, too, right?
Oh, I'm Jerry Washington.
You're Jerry Washington. Jerry, tell me a little bit about...
Carrie.
Carrie, okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I go to Culver City High School, and my hobbies are painting little miniature figures, if you know about that, and I play video games.
Okay, fine. Carrie, and what about you, Corey? Same?
No, not exactly. I
Check
been
it
a
out.
boy for 2 years, and I was on the Honor Society for 1.5, and I love video games.
All right, you're a paper boy?
I was.
Gee, it seemed like flesh and blood to me. Well, okay. Let's go to the gals here. You are... see if I remember this. You are Julie?
Right.
And you're Amy, right? Bingo. Oh, you're Bingo. I'm sorry. Well, I'm a little confused. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Amy.
Well, I'm 17, will be 18 tomorrow. And I'm a senior in high school and can't wait to get out.
I remember those days myself. I know something about you. You have a birthday tomorrow.
Right.
All right, you guys. Now, all of you have been matched up based on your game playing ability on playing today's games. And one of you, or should I say two of you? I'll say one throughout the day, but you know what I mean. One of our teams is going to have a chance to win this fabulous video arcade game. It is Journey. Yeah.
What?
You guys shake hands. Let's go play Starcade. Over to the podium. There we go. And while they get set at the podium, Kevin, what 5 games will our players have to deal with today?
Game number 1 today. Bongo Bongo, where Hunter is pitted against a great gorilla. Game 2 is Zor, a battle to save the Federation. Game 3, Food Fight, a messy sight. And Game 4, Tron, a journey into a startling new dimension. Game 5 today, Super Pac-Man, and the great one is back. Jeff?
Okay, thanks a lot, Kevin. Now, those are today's 5 games, and you both had a chance to play them before today's show. Now, let me tell you one thing. One of those games we've called the mystery game. If you pick that in the first 3 games, you're going to win a valuable prize. And right now, Kevin will whisper the name of the mystery game to our audience.
Today's mystery game is Food Fight.
Okay, now, we couldn't hear that, but that is the mystery game. I'm going to ask you both a question. All right, all 4 of you a question. First team to buzz in gets to answer the question. Answer the question correctly, and your team will choose the first video game that we're going to play. Now, in this case, anybody can buzz in, but only one of you can answer. Okay? All right, as soon as you know the correct answer, buzz right in. Donkey Kong Jr.'s mission is to rescue A, the fair maiden, or B, Papa from Mario. Washington's buzzed in first. Who's going to answer?
B.
What do you say? B. All right. Yes, Papa from Mario. Right you are. Okay, Corey, you're the guy that buzzed it. Carrie. Oh, this is going to be a long day. Carrie, you're the guy that buzzed in, and that means you get a chance to pick the game. So which of the 5 games do you want to play?
Food Fight.
Food Fight. Listen to that sound. That's the mystery game. All right, your team is right off won a prize, and Kevin's going to tell you what it is.
You've won these Parker Brothers home video game cartridges based on popular arcade games, exciting movie themes, and comic book adventures. The challenge awaits you, furnished by Parker Brothers.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kevin. Now, Carrie has picked Food Fight. Of course, I know you know how to play the game, Carrie, but we want to let everybody in on it. The game, a lot of these are new games, and some people haven't seen them. So let's ask Kevin how we play Food Fight.
Well, you see, it's like this. I love ice cream, all kinds, and I'll do anything to get it. And in Food Fight, that can mean anything. I can run right for it, gobble it up for points, or I can take my time, fling a little food along the way at the pursuing chefs for more points, or lure them into holes, being careful to avoid them myself. But I must reach the ice cream before it melts. One false move and, oh, yuck, the food is on me. It's Food Fight.
Okay, you picked Food Fight, and here we are. Which one of you is going to play the game?
I'm going to play the game.
Carrie, you're going to play the game. All right. Any particular strategy you're going to use?
No, I'm just going to do as best as I can.
Only hints I'll give to you. Watch out for the chefs. Don't fall in the slots. And Chuck, when he points down, he throws down. And when he points up, he throws in that direction. Okay. Let's get ready to play. Come on over here, Corey.
Yeah,
Carrie's ready. 50 seconds. Ready? Get set. Play. Wonderful. Yeah, you got it. shot. Some more food if you can. There you go. 5,100, doing great. Oh, your chef got you. That's right. Another chuck will come up. Good shot. It's all right, a little more time. Another chuck. Look out. Oh, they got you. And that looks at 5,400. That is really good. You don't think so?
Oh, it was okay. I think I could have done better than.
All right, well, we're going to see how Julie and Amy do. Why don't you go on back, and Julie and Amy come on down. Amy and Julie, the guys did pretty well. I don't know. It's going to be kind of tough to equal. Who's going to play food fight?
I guess I am.
Okay, Amy's going to play. Julie, you can coach her. Before you start, you saw what the guys did, and you're going to avoid the chefs, avoid the slots. Any other questions?
Nope.
Hey, Simon,
Okay, good luck to you. Let's get ready to play. Ready, get set, play. Watch out for the chefs. Get the cone. Got it. You can use that food to... Oh,
joining me.
There you go.
Some of the folks watching from the classic American TV game.
Yeah, good. That's the way to throw it. Way to go. Another 1,000.
What's your name now?
Good throw. That's the way to do it. Try to get some more if you can.
I think.
Go for it.
Yes, it's this.
9,000.
Oh, okay.
You guys did great. Let's check the score. 9,200 for the gals, 5,400 for the boys. We'll be back in just a moment to see who gets a chance to choose the next game right here on Star.
The grand prize today on Starcade is the video arcade game Journey, and you'll fly through deep space on a valiant mission against UFOs and alien planets. Journey, furnished by Stern Electronics. And now more Starcade with Jeff Edwards.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's a good game, Phil. One of you is going to have a chance at it, but first, let's recap the scores. Washington's, you have 5,400. Levinson's, 9,200. But remember, there's one more game to be played in this round, and the total score of both rounds is going to determine who gets to play the name of the game board. So I have another question here. First one to buzz in gets to pick the next game if you answer the question correctly. You all set? Hands on buzzers. The game Lost Tomb begins with A, parachutist landing on the tomb, or Washington's.
A,
a parachutist landing on the tomb. Right, you are. Okay, you get to pick a game out of the four left. What do you want to play?
Tron.
Tron it is. We'll play Tron. You're going to have 50 seconds to play it, and let's listen to Kevin as he tells us how to do it.
Journey with me now into a startling new dimension where energy lives and breathes, and the warrior Sark, protector of tyrannical MCP, is our dreaded enemy. We can enter this world by one of four routes, and even on entering, we must be on our guard, for the entry path is never the same. We could enter by way of the I.O. Tower, through the tank maze, directly through master control, or in a blinding flash on the light cycle grid. If we secure an area, we can choose another. The adventures are many in this world that is pure energy. It's Tron.
Okay, Tron it is. Now, who's going to play it this time?
I am.
You're going to play it. Corey's going to play it. Now, let me tell you this, Corey. When you start, the computer will show you 4 sectors. You move the dot into one of the sectors. Whatever you get is the luck of the draw, and we'll wish you good luck. You'll have 50 seconds to do it. You all set?
Yeah, I am.
All right, let's get ready to play Tron. Ready, get set, play. Here you go. Shoot him down. You got to get into that circle before the timer's out. Getting points. Way to go. Doing fine. Really good.
Yeah, go ahead and that.
And in you go.
Probably as good as me, almost.
Another shot at it. 20,
The problem with this game is there's a lot of time spent not actually gaining
Okay, you
points.
want to block off that yellow cycle, make it hit the wall. You've done it. Good for you. 8 seconds.
Yeah, he's not even made up the ground, so that was a pure point for him.
2, 1. All right, that's it. 1,070 points. Let's sit on. Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much satisfied.
I think
with
so.
No,
He got
it's
into 2 sectors, right?
that. Yeah, that was pretty good. I couldn't do as
Not
good.
bad at all. As a matter of fact, he got into the 3rd sector, just didn't have a chance to score any points there. Okay, head on back for the podium. Let's see how Julie and Amy do. Okay, Julie and Amy, they got 1,070 on Tron, which is pretty good. You
Someone
guys
that
think
needs
you
to
do
prize
better?
them, please.
Just a simple yes or no will be fine. Okay, who's going to play the game? Oh, here we go.
I won.
Okay,
I'm
that
playing.
means Julie plays the game. Amy, you come on over here. You can cheer on. Remember now, the computer will show you 4 sectors. You pick one. Whichever one you get's the luck of the draw. Ready? Get set. Play. So you get the same first sector. Okay, so you got to score points and get in that middle circle before the timer's out. Not to get touched by the ball.
To be honest with you, I have never actually seen Tom. Yep, I know, I've never seen Tom.
Get a good point. Try to get in that sector. Good, good. You're in the sector now. Got about 30 seconds. You'll be going into another sector. There you go. Into the light cycle. Try to make the yellow cycle under the wall. Good move. Good move. You did it. Plenty of time for another sector. Here we go. Pick a sector. All right, this is the tank. Got to destroy the enemy tank. Our tank's on the top. That's good. Hey, you got it. Keep going. Any time for another sector? Let's see. Into another sector.
Many games, isn't it?
Okay, it was a good find. 2,100. Back to the podium. Something important's coming up. Right on back to the podium. Here we go.
You think somebody just told them they're going to bloody Justin Bieber or something?
Because what we're going to do now is find out who's
It's the
going to
longest
play the name of the
24
game.
minutes of my
Game. You both had a chance to play the food fight and Tron, and now one of you is going to play for a very special prize. So we're going to total up the scores from both games to see who gets to play the name of the game board. The Washingtons have 6,470. Levinsons, you have...
Oh, here we go.
Come on, right down here.
Now, I would, you know what?
All right,
I've
right there.
never managed to
Okay.
find first
Turn your
class.
face
I
this
think
way so we
I've-
can get a nice picture of
the
your
first
face. Well,
on
I tell you what,
YouTube.
what we're going to be
I don't
dealing with
think I've
here.
actually been
Behind
any,
you, there are 4 television
I'd love to
screens,
watch
and on
one
those
of my
4
mates,
screens,
actually,
that's
the
the
other
name of the game board. We're going to show
many
you
moons
4
ago.
video games. The
Yeah,
playing
it's
field.
one
If
of
you
these
can name the
ones
games
perfect,
correctly,
yeah.
you're going to win some wonderful prizes. Kevin?
Julie and Amy, for 3
That one
correct
in the
answers,
left
you'll win
looks like,
Mr. Disc, a compact personal
is it
portable
Gabriella
photograph no bigger than a
Sabatini?
man's shoe. It plays
Gabriella
45s and
Sabatini,
LPs from
tennis
its own
player.
self-contained batteries, Mr. Disc. And for 4 correct answers, Sicey Sensor Chess, providing the realism of intelligent chess and the performance of a computer in a compact package.
Sicey.
Sicey provides 8 levels of strategic play for the beginner to the advanced player. Sicey's.
Okay, those are great prizes. Now, we got to decide who's going to play first. Who's going to go first?
Oh, here we go.
I am.
All right, you're going to go first. All right, turn around. Here we go. Now, remember, you go first, and then Amy goes next, then Julie again, and then Amy. All right, we go in order. There's the first one. Is that reaction or reactor?
Reactor.
Reactor. Right you are. Good. Next one coming up, this is for Amy. Is this whack-a-mole or
Whack-a-mole.
holy-moly?
Whack-a-mole.
No, sorry, that's wrong. Julie's turn. Look at this one. Is it quicks or pulsars?
Pulsars.
No, sorry,
What?
that's wrong. Let's do the last one just for the home audience. Number 4. Is it dominoes or domino
Oh, no,
man?
man.
Domino
Or
Man.
whatever it's
Domino
called.
man is right. Okay, you got 2 out of 4. No prizes, but you didn't.
Oh, we're blessed with royalty. Good evening, Squire.
Keep it excited because coming up here in just a moment, we're going to be back and we're going to play the final round.
We'll need to get in
and we're going to
touch, buddy.
find out who's
Get
going to
some
get a
more
chance
video
to win that
content, man.
beautiful video game Journey. Stick with
Nice
us.
to
We'll
see
be
you,
right
man.
back.
Still enjoy your
Here's the latest
food-
news from the Starcade
food videos,
Hotline.
mate.
On the
Brilliant
leading
stuff.
edge of video game technology is a game called Dragon's Lair, using a laser disc to create lifelike animation. The player controls the actions of the animated character as
Then
he
the guys in
swings
here
barrel after
don't
barrel
know one
in
voice
an
post.
enchanted castle.
Fuck
The
on his
laser disc is
video.
programmed to
Don't
display
check
the
it out.
character's
It's
fate
got bloody
based
open
on
the
the player's
awesome
quick
channel.
response to life-threatening
The quality of the
situations.
videos are shit
Dragon's
like
Lair,
mine.
a new concept in
Content
video
that's
games. And now back to
Never
more fun
mind
with
the,
Jeff and the
the
Twins.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.
front end or whatever.
All right, guys, here we are at round number 2. This is the big challenge. There's only one game left to play, and this time only 40 seconds to play. After that, we'll total up all the scores, and the top scorer on all games is going to get a chance to win the video arcade game Journey. So we have your last question right here. I don't know, Corey and Kerry, maybe you'd better miss this question, because every time you get a question, they beat you at your own game here. Yes. All right, good luck. Hands on buzzers. Here's the question.
Anyway, Dave, when are you getting your arse up here?
Language? A, English, B, French. Washington.
French.
You need
French
to get it
is right.
organised,
Okay,
anyway.
don't come down yet, because you have to pick a game. Which game do you want to play?
I'm going to go for Super Pac-Man.
Going for Super
Your name
Pac-Man.
back to this thing, I think.
Playing the game.
And the mild-mannered Pac-Man mildly eats rows of fruit and objects and chomps a few monsters to rack up points. Special keys open gates to more fruit, and the super button control gives him an extra
Never really
burst
got
of
this
super
game.
speed. Chomping a super dot, he changes to Super Pac-Man, 10 times his normal size and able to chomp as he pleases, where he pleases, invincible to the monster's pursuit. It's Super Pac-Man.
There's probably a reason
Okay, you
that
guys
people
have picked
don't play
Super
these
Pac-Man.
games.
You've each played a game, so who's going to play this one?
I'm going to play it. I think I can do it this time. I'm going to try as best I can.
All right, Kerry, now I'll tell you need a lot of points because your team's behind right now. One
you're
important thing
getting
I'll just tell you, and
absolutely
you
fucked.
guys might want to listen to this too, Levinsons. When it gets to be Super Pac-Man, hit your acceleration button because that'll move him faster and you get more points.
Okay, thanks.
Okay? You cheer him on, Corey. Here we go. Get ready to play Super Pac-Man. You'll have 40 seconds. Ready? Get set.
Thank you, Dale. Yep.
Play.
There's one voice post.
Another key. Super Pac-Man.
Channel down below. Click on it if you like it. Please subscribe.
Very good.
Trust me, I don't watch a lot of videos, and Dave's channel is one to be watched. A great lad.
Going good. Look out. Oh, they got you. Another Pac-Man coming up.
A genuine legend in retro
22
gaming
seconds.
circles.
Going for the key. Another key. Another key. Get him. You got,
Hand up, had it.
Time's moving. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 1,800 points. 1,990, almost 2,000 points. Not bad. You got
I don't know why you're
Pretty good.
flocking
I
me.
do too. Okay, Kerry, head on back. Let's break down the Levinsons.
Oh, here we go. Here's a couple of brother
We
brothers.
got the energy guys here. Okay, it's Super Pac-Man. Each of you have played a game. Who's going to play this one?
I am. Yeah.
You're not going to do all that stuff.
No, because she let me.
Oh, good for you, Amy. You're a nice person.
I know.
Okay,
Oh,
Julie.
I'm sorry.
Yes? Any questions? All
Nope.
right, we wish you good luck. Get ready to play Super Pac-Man. You have 40 seconds. Ready, set.
You could actually get minus 2000 with hold on, I
There
think.
you go. Moving good.
Oh, yeah, the Devils have beaten them already.
You have another Pac-Man coming up. You have 25 seconds. Going good, going good. Get a key. You can open it up. Another key. There you go.
Yeah, this is overcomplicated fight now, I think, for me, with this one.
Watch out. Going great. Get those up there. Get those hearts up there. Go in there. Oh, 2,260. Not
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Going back to the podium, and we're going to find out here in just a moment who's going to go for the
Too much
video
red
arcade
bill for
game.
these
And that
kids.
game, of course, is Journey. Now, let's take a look at the final tally and see how you did. Our winners for the day, the Levinsons with a grand total score of 13,581.
You can only hope that they're not going to do it.
Nice job. Hang on just a second. I want to say goodbye to my friends Corey and Kerry. Corey, you were great. Kerry, good too. They're just a little bit too much for you. We have some nice consolation prizes
Yeah,
for the
that's too much
Washington.
for everybody, mate. Honestly.
And if I could interrupt you for just a
Bloody
second,
headache sitting
you
here.
also won something else. Kevin?
It's the Texas
Legal
Instruments
version,
home
no, it's
computer
not.
and monitor for education, home finance, and entertainment. You're not just playing, you're learning with the home computer and monitor
Yeah, I do
from
apologise
Texas
in
Instruments.
advance. I'm going to say in advance for any estimate
Now
of
you're
these
going to
ones.
play for the grand prize, your own video
watch
arcade
this
game.
at
We'll
your
do
own
that
risk.
right after these messages.
I can only apologise.
Some of our contestants and some members of the studio audience will receive
I've been drinking
Trigger
Red
Elite,
Bull.
the high-performance joystick from Electra Concepts with select sensitivity settings, rapid-fire bar, 5-year guarantee, and more. Your video system's complete with Trigger Elite. And from
We can only
UMI,
hope,
Word
let's
Feud,
get a
the competitive
collective
word search
easily
game that involves the whole family.
thing
It's
going on here.
irresistible fun for everyone. UMI software for family home entertainment, Word Feud from UMI. And electronic fun with computers and games. It's the magazine of the computer age. Fun to read, witty, and informative. It's the ultimate magazine for gamers and computer users of all ages.
All right, welcome back to Starcade.
Evening,
And
Clarkson.
now the big challenge
How are you,
is that's a
buddy?
chance for the Levinsons to
You
win
didn't really
their
miss
own
very
very
much.
own
You
video
missed,
arcade game. Okay, here's the situation.
half an
George and Amy.
episode
There are
of
still
making
2 games
most of the
left
micro,
on
and
play,
it was
Zor
just
and
too long.
Congo Bongo. You can play either one, but what you'll have to do in 30 seconds is equal or beat the average score of over 20 other players who also played these same games for 30 seconds. If you choose Zor, you got to score 654 points. If you choose Congo Bongo, you must score 2,034 points. Do that, and the beautiful video arcade game is yours, okay? What's your decision? Which one do you want to play?
Zor.
Houston, this is Zor. I
I've
am
never even
alone.
heard of this, to be
All
fair.
of my comrades have been shot down, but the Federation is not yet defeated. I am here, and I am not afraid. My craft is swift, my aim sure.
You have 30 seconds. Get ready. Get set. Play. Take it off.
He's going to do it because, I mean, you can't exactly fail in a shoot 'em up.
Drop
Yeah,
your
they
lines.
don't know anything so far.
Air-to-ground missile to get the ship. Okay.
Oh,
everybody
it's
coming up.
good.
Use the air-to-ground missiles for the ship.
It's looking
All right,
good.
coming up. Time's rolling fast. You got to get some points. Air-to-ground missiles, 300. Get some more, 400. Oh, too bad. You had to beat 654, I think it was. You only got 400. That wasn't
Excellent.
enough, but you guys have been great contestants. Amy and Julie Levinson, any friends in the
listen,
audience, come on
apologies
up and
about that.
congratulate them. They're great
Bloody-
players. This is Jeff
bloody
Edwards for
horrible.
Starcade. We'll see you in the next game. Oh, boy, your troubles get
Right,
jacked.
listen, what we're
Bye-bye.
going to do, I think we're going to watch,
This is Kevin McMahon speaking.
I think we'll
This
bring
has
it a
been a
micro
JM
line.
production.
That was cut short, rather abruptly. Right, I think we'll watch one micro live before bedtime. Right, okay, let's watch micro live series 1, episode 1. Copy here. Ah, right, okay, thanks, Mark. I do watch the Retro Asylum, so no, that's great. Thanks for that one. Right, okay. Last one for tonight, folks, on Watch with Mamemeister. This is Micro Live, Series 1, Episode 1. Let's rock. Is that crap left, is it again? I'm gonna get another copyright strike, I think. That music, that little snippet of music just takes right back to 1982. Never even had a computer back then, but I just loved watching these programs. Hey,
Hello, you're
Tom,
watching
before.
Micro Live. In today's programme, we follow judo and superstars champion Brian Jacks and his family as they comb the shops of beautiful downtown Croydon, looking
Mr.
for the perfect
Superstar.
micro, if such a thing exists.
Oh, his wife looks quite fit.
I'll be trying out the new
Oh,
Micro
and there's
Live
a lovely,
bulletin.
what's her name
Now,
again?
if you've got a
Leslie
modem and you
Dunn.
care to, you can send us messages live through the show and we'll read some out at the end. Well, that's the plan anyway. I'll be talking to John Coll about choosing a printer for your micro, and John is also going to be attempting to contact some exotic and far-flung places using only his extremely trusty modem.
And I'll be
Like
showing
you,
you how
Paul.
computers can protect you. If you're being
We've got
lasered,
Luke Skywalker.
Welcome to our new monthly series, the only live computer programme on television. Micro Live will be each month at 6 o'clock on a Friday with news and
Right,
features
so
on
it was
micros,
quite literally
large computers,
live. I
software,
see that, yeah.
telecommunications, and of course some of the interesting people who use them. Well, this is the week in which the charity Oxfam...
Stop! Hold it! Hold everything!
Oh, what's this?
35p to you, Mac.
35p. I haven't got any money.
Well, as
Can I
we're
pay you
sharing...
later?
Well, I think so, as we're sharing the same birthday.
Micromark, what's it meant to do?
Well, it's meant to sell new and used computers and computer...
Pin and arse,
So
possibly?
it's a magazine of the junk market of computers?
Oh, not junk.
Oh, really? Any good bargains in it?
Well, have a look through. There's plenty.
Really? IBM PC and printer. Unused, unwanted gift, quick sale.
Wonderful. Do you want
Your
it?
phone mic.
Well, I should do that now if I were you.
Chief enough. He's got some good friends, hasn't he?
Thank you.
Well, back to Oxfam, which is making its final appeal for a second-hand, lightly used software to be brought into their shops for 3 grant sales.
Mark's looking slightly more casual from his normal attire, his chocolate brown suit.
Who's responsible
with
if it
tie.
goes wrong? Most of the software houses that we contacted in
Give them that moment.
straw poll seemed quite
Okay,
happy to
well,
have their
wait.
micro software sold second-hand for charity. And some had already donated new software for the appeal. In fact, this morning, Ocean Software sent us 100 copies of Daley Thompson's Decathlon, currently the #1 in the games charts, for us to forward to Oxfam. Well, this is also the week in which Sir Michael Edwards left after 6 months as chairman of ICL, Britain's largest computer company, with a payoff rumoured to be not too far from £500,000 after the company was sold to STC. So there's still fortunes to be made quickly in computers. Well done, Sir Michael. And we just heard the news that British Telecom is raising their prices by 2% and minimum phone box charges 10p from next month to boost their £1 billion profit. So there's money in the phone business too. Well done, British Telecom. But we've had lots and lots of letters here, some using old technology. They come in envelopes and are delivered by hand, and some by electronic mail, with all sorts of comments and suggestions. On this series, we're giving you an opportunity to write to us while we're on the air through a bulletin board. Well, a bulletin board is more or less exactly what it says. It's a way of you being able to send messages to this computer and also be able to read messages that are stored in the computer itself. It's a Tandy TRS-180, and it's connected into the telecom network by this Dacom 300 baud modem. And it's using TBBS software, which stands for the breadboard software. We've had a bit of trouble with it one way or another today, but we've been rehearsing it all day. Haven't we, Leslie?
We have, and I'm now about to rehearse it in public. I'm just dialing in. I'm not sure whether we can afford this call with that news.
No, you and me both, mate.
It's ringing.
Cutting the edge back then.
Anybody there?
Ronnie Corbett, Jeremy Clark.
Yeah, I got a high-pitched whine, so that means that
No,
call's been
the
accepted.
obviously Stargate have all infiltrated
Green
the
light. Press return. Look at that. Welcome to Micro Life. First name, right. Leslie, Leslie.
They can't spell Leslie.
Leslie.
It's
Last
through
name.
over here. You're terrible at spelling.
Never mind, we are fully operational.
It was working. Well done, Leslie. The problem with this bulletin board is that only one person can be connected to it at one time, just like your home telephone. So if you do dial in and get an engaged tone, please ring off and try again later.
So quite literally one person can phone in at any one time.
2468. And good luck to you. The first 10 people to leave message on the system will get this amazing MicroLive T-shirt. Wholly and absolutely valuable.
I want one. It washes beautifully.
Does it really? Well, it certainly won't fit me. Well, each month we'll be having a film story from our American reporter.
When Fred Harris joined the gang.
His first programme, he's been to Hollywood.
One of the most popular tourist attractions in Hollywood is the Universal Studios Tour, a chance to see behind the scenes of a major feature film studio. And when you tire of that, there's always this. Seven times a day and 7 days a week, the Conan the Barbarian show recreates movie special effects live on stage. The effects are spectacular and often dangerous, from laser beams to explosions, and including an 18-foot-tall computer-controlled dragon called Ashley, who appears at the climax of the show.
Ding dong.
Fref, the semi-civilized here, and I think it's safe. Or at least so Peter Alexander, the show's producer, assures me. Isn't that right, Peter?
I would hope so.
Now, how long did it take you to put all these different technologies together and make this show happen?
It took 9 months to design and build the attraction.
And what controls it all? What keeps it functioning all the time?
Well, there's two things, really. One is a human being. That is, that there's a technical director who watches what goes on the stage, but he interfaces with a series of computers that operate off a number of switches and electric eyes that make sure that the actors are safe, and so that it's possible to do all these special effects live.
The basic program material is contained on the VCR down here, which also has a SMPTE time code lapsed right with it in proper time sequence. It's then read by the SMPTE time code reader, which then sends the signal up to the basic main there that tells it what to do with the data. At a particular frame count, it knows what bits to turn on and off, etc. The data from this computer is sent down to this other computer that can make logical decisions.
Evening, Gary. How are you, mate? Thanks for tuning in, mate.
The button, the actors in the proper position on their mats, etc. We also have 5 separate individual computers up here with 4 megabytes of bubble memory that contain the digital sound effects for laser blast, explosions, such as that have to be synced exactly with a laser beam. You can't access a magnetic tape fast enough to sync it properly.
Ooh, check out the lasers.
Which are there on this stage?
Probably about 30
What's
switches
because
on
I'm
the
bloody
stage
close,
the
Jim?
actors have to either pass through or step on or do something with.
Okay, now, I know there's an effect behind us you wanted to show me. Is there a switch involved in that, too?
Yes, that's a cone laser, and that's where Taurus Mordor appears. And what happens there, he's basically sitting down on a little bench seat, and he's sitting down on a pad that tells the computer that he's there. He has to face away from the laser light because, of course, the lasers would be dangerous to your eyes.
Now, what's going to happen here?
Well, this is the moment in the show where Taurus Mordor turns Callias, who is the good wizard, to stone. And what he does is he comes out and he comes to center stage.
I remember that, yeah. Somebody hacked the Micro Live server, I think. Yeah, I do remember that one.
He's not going to get hit by the laser beam. Meanwhile, Callias gets on a turntable and he hits a button that says, "I'm safe." Then Taurus Mordor will take this staff here and he's going to break an invisible beam. It's an electric eye.
Wasn't there a game called Conan by Data East from the C64? I'm sure it was. Was it all a sequel to Bruce Lee, I think? I remember really.
The pyrotechnics will go off and Callias will have been turned into stone. This is the effect where Red Sonja blocks Taurus Mordor's laser staff. And what she'll do is she will take her sword and bring it down and hit this pedestal. And that will activate an electric eye, which is right back there in this little chair here. And that fires a laser from a brazier down there where Taurus Mordor is standing. At the same time,
it was
the
soft,
laser
yeah.
hit the sword, she will press this button here, which will fire a pyro, and it'll look like, you know, the laser light is exploding off the sword. And then she goes back and she does the same thing on the other side. So it's wow, wow, like that. Just like in space opera.
I'll see you in hell first.
And then finally, in the big finale, Ashley pulls out his #1 weapon, which is fire. Fire comes from his mouth. But this is the one effect that isn't controlled by a button in the floor. The actor who plays Conan just has to know exactly when the fire is coming and exactly how far it's going to go. And fortunately, it always comes at exactly the right time and fires, you know, exactly the right length. Otherwise, he'd be cooked. He's got a fireproof shield that he holds up, and he basically is on his own when he's doing that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Bad effects to be fair for what, 1981, 1982, something like that.
One of the most useful extras that you can buy for your micro is a printer.
Could her
But
hair
if
be
you're
any
thinking of
more
getting one,
symmetrical?
have a listen to what John Cole's got to say on the subject first, because I found that there is a bewildering choice, John, and I wouldn't know where to start to break it down.
Yes, it is bewildering. There are two main divisions, that is dot matrix printers and
It's
daisy
not a
wheel.
word you hear very often, bewildering.
This one over here is a little tiny dot matrix printer, £99, but its disadvantage is that it uses special paper.
I'd call it loo paper, actually. It's not very pretty,
Very
is it?
similar, not perforated, but about the right size. It is special in that it's thermal paper, and you have to actually heat it up to make it turn black. Now, all dot matrix printers work on the same sort of principle, and we've got a caption which shows how that works. If we can see the caption, you'll see that there are a row of 7 pins vertically, and on the heat-sensitive one, those heat up, and where they land, they make the paper turn black. So you form the characters in that way, a matrix of dots.
Right, now, do all dot matrix printers have to use this special paper, as you call it?
No, they don't, and that's a disadvantage of that one. This one over here, the brother printer, uses ordinary paper. You see how?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like that instead.
With printers.
That's just using ordinary paper. This time, hitting the paper through a ribbon.
Right, well, that's much more pleasing, being ordinary paper, isn't it?
It
Can
is.
we have a look at a close-up of the print that does?
Yes,
It looks
and
like...
if you look carefully, I think you'll see.
Oh, there we are. Oh. There looks like there's something actually wrong with that, because, look, you've got wonky G's there.
All right, well, you insist on using this phrase, wonky G's. I must educate you. They're not wonky G's. There are no descenders on the G's. The letters like G and J and Y, which ought to go below the line, don't manage it, because there are only 7 pins. And if you want to print things below the line as well, you need 9 pins.
Can you get the extra 2 pins? I mean, can you
I
buy
never
them as an
knew that.
attachment?
I always wondered why they always like that.
No, afraid not.
No, so that's a characteristic that you are lumbered with.
Absolutely.
With that. It looks like a typewriter. Can you work it as a typewriter?
You can. You can pull the interface out here and then just use it as an ordinary typewriter.
Right. Now, but will these 2 dot matrix printers fit up to any computer?
No, they won't. This BBC computer has got interfaces for both that one, a serial interface and a parallel. But in fact, some computers haven't got any interfaces at all. And probably the most important thing, if you're going to buy a printer, I would say, is to go into the shop with your computer and physically see it working. It's terribly important. Then, grab hold of a bit of wire that the sales guy is using and take that piece of wire out of the shop. Don't get fobbed off and told, oh, any old bit of wire will do, because there are an awful lot of differences.
I'd have thought the cable was the least of your worries.
I know, too many people do, but in fact, at £25 a shot,
Expensive
that sort of area,
mistake.
you
Actually,
can't-
talking about
yes.
price, we mentioned this one was £99. What was this one?
165.
Right, so they're cheap and cheerful comparatively.
Yes.
But on the other hand, I don't know, the print looks computerish. It would
Right.
never pass as a typewriter letter, would it?
So let's have a look at the daisy wheel output, which helps to solve that.
Jesus, look at
Now,
the size
here's
of
the
that.
daisy wheel. Camera 1 can come right in and have a look at that. This daisy wheel is a plastic disc with a lot of petals
I
on it.
remember
On
them.
the end of each petal are embossed letters A to Z. And a hammer comes forward, pushes the petal forward against a ribbon, it lands on the paper and makes a mark.
And actually, it makes quite a nice mark.
It
Nice
does, very nice.
printer.
Have a look at
Nice
this one
teaching
here.
that.
Push that button. Right. You can get that on camera. See that the letters are formed beautifully.
Yeah, very nice and very clear. And that's the same lettering on both of those machines. I was
It
helping
is.
you along there, you see. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So you got the same lettering, but is that the only lettering that you can get out of this daisy wheel printer?
No, if you want, you can change daisy wheels. You can pull that one out and put a new one in.
And that's not a screwdriver job, that's just...
You take the lid off, circle around inside,
Yeah.
but you don't change daisy wheels in the middle of a sentence. You can change it in documents.
So you can change style.
Bit of a nuisance.
Yeah. And what about underlining, things like that? Can you do that?
Yes, you can underline if you send the right commands to the machine. And to send the commands, you need things called printer drivers. That's a bit of software which fits in the computer and sends the right codes to the printer.
Are all computers and printers well catered for with printer drivers?
No, that's another major problem, and that
Of
is
course I'm
that
not.
if you go for an obscure printer, you probably won't find a driver. But if you go for the Olivetti's or Epsons or something like that, well-known printers, then you'll be able to get printer drivers for them.
So you've got to...
Well, something like that, Mac. Not exactly.
I was about to say you've got to stick to the main road. I think we're mixing our metaphors slightly here. Never mind. Right, hang on. What I wanted to ask is price on these 2 daisy
Okay,
wheels.
£3.80 and £9.25.
And what do you get for the difference?
About twice the same.
Nine? Did you say 920,
If you don't need the
925?
speed, it's £400 down the drain.
Right.
On the other
Holy
hand,
shit.
if you want the good lettering, it seems to me you're better off with a daisy wheel, yes?
Well, yes, it's not, unfortunately, as simple as that. It used to be, a year ago, daisy wheels were the marvellous
So
thing.
now, back then we all wanted printers. Now,
look at this one.
as I
This
don't know,
is a dot matrix
back when
printer.
somebody was
I don't know if you
saying
can see on
there's
camera,
really no
but
requirement for a
there
printer
is
anymore.
Very, very high quality printout there. Probably not close enough.
No,
but
that
it's
is
almost
superb.
letter quality. Right.
Yeah, and lovely, lots of variety, a different print as well, and underlining.
That's right. So you've got all sorts of bells and whistles, and for only £500.
Best of both worlds.
Very attractive indeed.
Yeah, still
Yes.
£500 though, it's a
Right.
good price.
That's an Epson.
It's a price of
Good
bloody
printers.
small
Here
family
is another
saloon.
Epson at about £300, and it's a smaller version of the other one, it's the RX80. Beautiful printer. You can not only do high quality text, but you can also do screen dumps. And you can
Sorry?
Even Ox.
screen dumps. Come on, I tell you all about this. It means taking a picture off the screen, dropping it onto the printer. Every
Ox, quick one, mate. I will be coming in there,
picture,
but I won't be staying over, mate.
Exactly right.
I'll be
To do
driving
that,
down and
you
going
have
back
to
up.
have another bit of
Yeah, we
software,
can have a chat about it
a
later on.
printer driver like this one, Printmaster, which
Is anybody else
run with the
going in
BBC
there?
micro out to the
It's-
Epson.
And the Epson
Good
is well
site.
catered for with software, so you'd
Beautiful
be
printer.
safe with that.
Yes, really good.
Right. And also, presumably, because of the system, you'd better steer clear of daisy wheel printers if you do want pictures and graphics as your main requirement.
Got to. You can only really do graphics. Well, you can't do graphics on a daisy. We'll put it that way.
How about this? We've got a Canon here, which is churning
Right.
out colour. Is that more expensive?
£500 if you want colour.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Some people do.
Christ.
Some people don't. You have to make up your mind, really, don't
What
you?
I really want, though.
I knew you'd leave the best till last. What is it?
Look at this thing. Just look at this. This is a laser printer, and this one's going to leave the studio with me. Right, laser printer,
Look at that one.
£3,000, and I'm taking it.
And wonderfully quiet, I must just add in its favour. Though,
Beautiful.
Excellent, Trev. I shall see you there, Squire.
I think I'll have some noise for my money. Speaking of noise, you've been talking all day about going and talking to the world
Yes.
with a modem.
Right,
Please go and talk, John.
I will. See you later.
There's the main man. Jesus.
This is good going from Brian Jacks.
The World Superstars competition in the Bahamas, 1980.
I love
Britain's
Superstars.
Brian Jacks yet again stunned the crowds with his all-round athletic ability.
He was absolutely insane.
Endurance of the whole body. And he makes it, yes!
Yeah, the diaper as well.
Big smiles all round for Brian Jacks. Supporters absolutely delighted.
Now Brian runs his own business, giving judo exhibitions throughout the country.
Julie and I have decided to buy a computer, but we've looked in all these different magazines. We've got hundreds of magazines.
No, where's his hair
We've
gone?
got what to buy. I found that, having looked through one of the magazines, that there's at least 60 different types of home computers on the market, and we're just not too sure what to buy. We're really confused. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to go around to the shops and have a good look and see what we want. But basically, I believe that we need something that's going to help Philip, our young lad.
Yeah, apparently
in
lives.
his
I think
schooling.
it was
and
a
so
pub
on.
or something
And
in
something that's also
Spain
going to
or
help Julie
something.
with her typing. And
Oh,
to do
bloody
the
hell,
office
she's
work.
all right, yeah?
Croydon seemed the most obvious place to try, since it's nearby and there's a variety of good stores to wander around. We were surprised at the number of
Check out
computer
these
shops
shops.
which have opened there in the last few months. But we decided to start with a shop we know well, Smith's,
What
in
have
the
you got
Whitney
then?
Centre, which now has a large computer department.
What now? Because this is completely new to me.
First you hit the escape key, like that, to get the text.
I'm
It's just
trying
a
to
standard
do no.
tray. Takes about
Ah,
10
it's
minutes,
wonderful.
so-
The size, that's
I'm
really
like
ugly,
20.
isn't it? This
It
one,
is.
it's enormous, isn't it?
Yeah, you get sort of hard disk, that sort of size now.
I think my wife would go berserk if she saw the size of that.
So what if would that print out on there?
Yes, it will.
Because the idea is I'm interested in for letter writing.
Except good things on that one.
Is it not loaded yet?
It is still loading. That's
Yeah.
that's one drawback with the
Takes
Commodore.
ages, doesn't it?
It takes ages.
Julie quite liked the look of the BBC Micro.
Yeah, the thing about the BBC, it's quite an expensive computer, but there's an electron.
I would help me back to go back to
Well, there's an electron as well, and that costs £200.
That is the BBC equivalent, though, is it? I'm totally confused. you
It's
see.
built by the same company.
It's
and
lovely.
it speaks the same language, so if somebody writes stuff at school or programs and things, they can come and
I
run
see.
it at home on this machine. Okay, bye-bye.
You know, the kids not remotely interested.
Down at Philip. At the local department store, we were totally sport for choice, but we did manage to see a demonstration on the Atari.
Right, if we press E, we can edit the text. Right? There's some text in there already. It just says this is a demonstration, etc.
Okay.
If we want to change a word there, press Control, cursor key, and we can type in.
What's
Kids bored.
what's this Philip's playing with it.
This is actually a touch tablet for use with an Atari Artist program. Atari Artist is a bit like this word processor, but it's for pictures. To actually change the program, just take this cartridge out here, place this one in.
My word, that was quick.
Yeah, right, and there we are.
How much does that cost?
That program with this touch tablet is £70.
And the actual machine?
The machine is £250.
So they're all extras. Everything you
These
buy
are
is
all
an
extras,
extra.
according to what you would do.
By now, my brain was hurting more than my feet. It seemed that each assistant had his own
Last piece,
favourite
bloody
computer.
hell.
This made it difficult to make an objective choice. That's a tiny one, look at that, look. Well, that's the same.
There's a Spectrum Atari
Look what that
400.
thing is at the bottom.
Oh, you feel those keys, Brian? They're like rubber.
Well,
Well,
one
you'd
is
be able
one
to type
press.
very well with that, would you? Try it.
Oh no, I couldn't use that one.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the Spectrum?
Well, the Spectrum has been out for quite a while now, so there is a fair degree of software available for it. Mostly...
Fair degree, that's an understatement.
Balancing out between educational and game software.
I'll tell you what we'd like to go on to after. We'd like to have a look at the Oric, if that's possible.
Surely, right.
Are the graphics good on that particular one?
They are. The Oryx graphics are particularly good, but at the moment they're not being exploited as much as they could do, simply because being a new machine,
tell them
they've got
exactly
a
what they
much
want to hear.
larger software out.
Do they have a disk unit for this one?
There is a disk drive coming out for the Oryx, but again, that is only on the drawing board at the moment.
You know, I think really we better stick to something that's, you know, more readily available, haven't we?
Right.
Philip!
Mine is
Philip!
gold shit list.
Okay, lovely. Can I borrow the pen? Thank you. Thank you, So, if you want to see which one we chose, then you'll just have to look in next month. Thank goodness for that. I think I'm still confused, aren't you?
I love for the wee boys got matching t-shirts.
And I'm not surprised at Brian's confusion. So far, we've had lots of people try to get onto us, and the only thing we've got is Eric Schwartz of Harpenden. We managed to get his name, but so far no address, so keep on trying. Well, I'm often asked what sort of computer I should buy for the home, and it's a very difficult question to answer. Often I say to somebody, don't buy a computer unless you really have to. Well, Which, the magazine of the Consumers Association, has done a buying guide for computers, and they've come out...
Spoiler! I wasn't going to tell them that.
Sinclair Spectrum at about £130, up to a BBC Micro. But you can see how problematical it is when you look at the cover, and there on the cover is a Dragon 32, and shortly after this, Dragon itself ran into problems and got itself acquired. So in the October edition of Which, we find that they're recommending that it comes out of their list of front runners. When you go into business micros, it becomes even more...
Cheers, LSP. Take care, buddy.
Several hundred items of equipment to choose
Can't
from.
complain, you know,
Which Computer this month has a wonderful article saying it's the only buying guide you'll ever need. And, of course, that isn't an exaggeration. It's interesting inside, though, when you look at it, the article starts off by saying, survival kit for your computer purchasers, and it gives some rather interesting horror stories. Here's one. How about this? There's some 2,000 dealers, many of whom are unscrupulous, dishonest, technically ignorant or unstable. In the last 12 months, 600 dealers went out of business. They then go on to state about all the problems you can get into installing a business computer, losing control of your stock, losing contact with your customers and so on, and finally going bankrupt as a result of the combination of all these. Well, if you've met a dishonest dealer, you've met an unscrupulous one, or an ignorant one, or you've been driven out of business by a computer, please let us know. We had a rather interesting comment in one paper today. It said a firm of London solicitors won £16,000 in damages after being sold a computer they didn't need. The judge involved in the case pointed out the firm would have been better off to stick to their manual methods. As somebody's pointed out, it's rather like finding you guilty of manslaughter if you sell a motorbike to a teenager who hasn't got a licence and the first thing he does is take off and drive into a tree. Well, I've been joined by Stephen Castell, who's an information...
Oh, there's a boffin. That's a bloody wig.
Welcome,
Look at it.
Stephen. He's also the author of a book called Computer Bluff. What's new, Stephen?
Well, Mac, I've been looking at so-called smart cards and laser cards, memory cards. This one is the Drexon laser card, made from a substance called Drexon, made by the Drexler Corporation in the States. Data can be stored by a photographic process rather than an electronic process, so it can be read by a low-powered laser. And some of us are predicting that this kind of card will be the computer product, personal computer memory device of the future. This little beauty stores about 2 megabytes and 800 A4 pages of text. Obvious application, software distribution, electronic publishing, that's manuals and textbooks, and of course, perhaps a complete medical history of a person could be kept on one, and you could keep it with you. Compared with that, the sort of standard credit card, of which it's the same size, just stores about 45 words or so on its little magnetic stripe. Another type of smart card is the one which
Just
has...
to go back to that Drexel
yes,
card,
yeah.
I understand that BPC, Bob Maxwell's organisation, has taken out the licence in the UK. What do you think he's going to use it for?
Well, we'd probably have to wait and see, but it's interesting that it's the only UK company that's actually licensed the technology, and it's a publishing company, so he's obviously got his very much the future of this new medium. And look forward with interest to see what he does with it.
One of the things he looks very young, that guy, and he's completely utterly bald over 3/4 of his head.
It would seem to me there'd be an innovation to actually store your picture in the shape of photographs, so everybody could read it. Is it really an improvement on that?
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a sort of solution looking for a problem at the moment, but it does open up the whole question of image processing and image storage, and I think there's some fascinating developments there.
It's quite interesting, though, some of the things that do come out,
is this,
and you look, you obviously
it has
fast
only
forward to
4K of memory,
2022, and you actually realise
it's rather tame.
they're actually won
But
the
of
money.
course, it does have intelligence with it. And one of the interesting products which it fits in with is a telephone product. This is called the Memotel. One can slip it in here. It's a repertory dialer. Normally stores about 150 numbers selected by a single button stroke or perhaps a couple. With this one, you can stuff it in and get about 600 more numbers.
Stuff it in.
Now, take it from your London Memotel across to your New York Memotel, and hey presto, you can find that just exactly the same keystrokes will select the same telephone numbers. The intelligence in the card interfacing with the unit in New York knows that it's in New York and puts the right prefix codes on, so you don't have to worry about it. And that's
Provided
quite a
you've got one
smart.
of those in New York.
Well, this is the problem, of course. One needs the readers and the applications to use it properly.
What else is happening?
What else is happening? Well, it's been an interesting 2 months for
Yeah.
developments generally, very weighty developments in information technology. We've had things like the British Telecommunications Act becoming law, BT PLC being formed, Oftel, the Office of Telecommunications, and BT going public next month to make even more money, presumably, out of their new prices. We've had the Data Protection Act becoming law, and we've had things like a report from NEDO about the information technology crisis, they put it.
Of course, we've got a new Minister of Technology. Kenneth Baker's moved on to pastures greener.
That's right. Are they greener? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, only he can tell,
Yes.
hopefully.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'm in two minds about it. This government, you know, when it first came in, seemed to start off so many good initiatives in information technology. Many of us applauded them. I mean, the whole BBC and schools micro programme is one of them. I've just got a sneaking suspicion at the moment that we're seeing something which may be summarised as sort of yesterday's men trying to apply today's solutions to tomorrow's problems. And I fear that some of these initiatives are going to go fat on us. Sorry about
that. That hurt. Well, thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
One event that showed today's computer technology
Not
was
being
the
edited
Personal
out.
Computer World Show held last week at Olympia in London. It modestly claims to be the greatest micro show on Earth, so how could we miss it? Yeah, well, it may have had the highest technology on the planet, but as we plugged in our lights, we fused the power to Apricot stand for 2 hours. Sorry, Apricot. Here's Leslie.
I don't know whether the PCW show is really the greatest micro show on
I
Earth.
was at that show, not that particular one, but I did a couple of them.
Showing me some of the things which particularly interested him was journalist Chris Palmer. Okay, Chris, you've dragged me to the Apricot stand. Why?
Oh, primarily because it's British.
Oh, that's a good enough reason. What else?
Well, it's the new Apricot Portable. Unfortunately, you still need a mains point to plug into.
Yeah.
And it's worth actually saying that the monitor over here is an addition which you can make to the system.
What happened to Apricot? They're not all
So
came
your liquid
business
crystal
machines.
display,
They
which
did.
would show everything a standard monitor
Yeah, I mean,
shows.
you can use it as that. You don't need the monitor.
So it's this and this. And am I right in thinking there's no other wires?
You've been stealth out, aren't you, Squire?
Certainly.
No, you missed the lovely, I can't remember her name, Brian
the
Jack's
main part of the
wife.
computer via infrared in the same way that your TV or video controller would.
Well, that makes it very neat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Another nice factor about this is
There's an
the
upside down mouse.
This one has actually been primarily designed to be used handheld, and it's also infrared controlled, so you can move about the room or your desk while you're using it.
Or sit in an easy chair.
Or sit in an easy
Very nice.
chair.
Now tell me about this liquid crystal display.
Well, this is one of the biggest
Yeah,
liquid crystal
portable.
displays that's
You
yet
need it
become
plugged
available
in.
on any computer. The same sort of display you'd get in a washer or calculator, only much, much bigger. So it means that you have a usable area to work on the screen.
Ah, now this is more my level.
Yes.
I like it. Colours and shapes, but great for kids.
Yeah, absolutely ideal for kids. What it actually is a touch-sensitive pad which interfaces into the major micros. And so, as you say, great for kids because from an early age they're not really that happy with a keyboard, and so you've got something here which you've got colours and shapes on which a kid can relate to and actually use and interact with the computer. At the moment it's compatible with 5 of the leading micros. And this is Apple's latest addition to their range, the Macintosh. And what I wanted to show you is a rather wonderful piece of software that's running on it, which is a visual database.
What do you mean by that? Is there's pictures of houses instead of words?
Yes, I mean, what they've done is, obviously your visual senses are a lot stronger than looking at words or numbers. So if we want the information on that particular house there, we point to it and press the button and it marks that house, and we ask it to link.
Yeah.
So it's now going to link through to some more detailed information on that house. Say you're interested particularly in the size of the living room. So once again, you point at the living room and it would highlight it there on the screen, and you now ask for info on the living room. And now it actually comes up, it says, right, the living room is what you're looking at. It's 200 square feet, it's got 2 closets and 6 windows.
One shows the game.
This is an ordinary personal computer.
It's an ordinary home computer and it's got its
Well, the Commodore 64. Yep, music maker. I had that.
It's a mechanical keyboard, and the way it actually works is when you press the key here, it's actually pressing the key on the keyboard underneath it.
But look, for someone like me, who I can't read music or play music, how much fun would I get out of it?
Well, one of the nice features, because it's a software-based system, you can actually tell it to remember the notes you play. So you've got an inbuilt sequencer which will remember what you play on the keyboard.
Ah, and since we've got the notes here written down, so if I read them out to you,
Right,
you
we'll
ready?
have a go at inputting this.
G. This is where have all the flowers gone, incidentally. G, A, G, F, E, D, C. That didn't sound like where have all the flowers gone to me.
No, but one of the other nice features about it is you can actually play it back in the time by just tapping one key. So if we now ask it to remember the time, I'll tend to actually play it back as it should be. And if you hit it again, it'll actually play back, remembering the time you put into it.
£25,000. Let's put the lid on it, Chris, quickly.
Oh, bloody hell, Eureka.
Money in my life. Right, where's the... Oh, no, don't say I've lost the key. Oh, you got the key. Great. Right, now £25,000, that is some prize, isn't it? I know, I mean, the oil companies do it, the newspapers do it, but is this the first time that a computer...
The birds and bees do it, apparently.
This amount of money for a computer firm, that is actually the prize for the first person to solve the adventure called Eureka. Now, Eureka is a multi-part adventure game. There are 5 actual adventures and 5 arcade games. And you have to complete each one in sequence before you can actually get to the end and claim the money.
Right, so you don't just win like that.
No, it's a long slog.
How do I get the game?
Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till the 31st of October, which is when they actually become generally available. You can read
I'll read it. We've got a hilarious message here from the States. And what's it saying? Be sure to let all your viewers know that we in the colonies are very big on things British. I mean, a person can't buy something in a supermarket without seeing the latest news on Lady Di or rollicking Randy Prince Andy. We're also real fond of Maggie Thatcher and Boy George.
Randy Prince Andy.
Best of the two.
Who knew?
Maggie Thatcher would look
We
pretty
were on him
silly
at
with
that
hair,
point.
though. That's the only thing. Now listen, that's a lovely message. What, from America?
Yes, that one I think's from America.
And it's not the same thing as electronic mail, is it?
No, we are not on electronic mail and we're not on chat. We're on a system called Party.
And what does that mean? Party, whoopee,
No,
lots of people
it's not
joining
quite
in?
in that sense, although it's a sense of a lot of people joining together. It's participation in a conference.
I see.
And so this is a conference which is set up worldwide.
Mhm.
We've got a real problem at the moment because of time scales. It's 1 o'clock in New York. They're asleep in Australia, so we've had to wake somebody up and tell them to come online. But we've got a conference running right around the world with messages whizzing all over the place.
Well, with all this party talking, poor old Mac can't get a word in edgeways. I think he's got something useful to say, actually. Mac?
Oh, well, thank you, Leslie. Well, we all know what happens. These computers really aren't as easy to use as they say. When you switch them on, you get something like this. Well, I didn't expect it to make music at me, but they give a greater than sign with a flashing cursor like this. And if you want to do something, you probably have to type in something like *cat, which is a catalogue or directory, and it will give you a list of the programs you've got stored here on your disk. And then to load a program, you probably have to type chain, and not forgetting to put it in quotation marks, and we'll put out live 1. And that will load it and then run it. And with a bit of luck, I'll the program. And
You're not wrong, Mr.
You've got
T,
to know
yeah.
the sequence of things to
First
do,
example
specialised
of
for
one.
each computer you're running on. With a professional computer, something like this, when you switch it on, you'll get a screen with the various alternatives.
This
at
is
that
going to last
particular point.
25
Well,
minutes.
In this particular
It's
machine,
what have been
it's
lasting
in
about an
a
hour.
nice graphic form, and you can move the cursor along and select another one and get another a series of options of things you can do at that point. It's called a menu. In this case, they're all graphics. You can do a similar sort of thing on your micro. And the great advantage of it is that you can go up to it, see what options are available, and anybody else can do the same. And we can do the same sort of thing on this machine here. And what I have to do that, the problem really comes in two parts. Firstly, to have a program that will do the menuing itself. And secondly, you need a little program so that when you switch your machine on, you automatically go into the menu. Well, we've written a little program here, and we'll have a look at that and see what it looks like. Well, this menu gives you an option of 3 programs that we have on disk. And of course, you're not limited to the names that you have on the disk. You can call them whatever you like. And we've got a list of 3 here. You just type in a 2 and it will come. And surprisingly, the code is really quite short. And I'll show you that.
I'm still
that's the total code for producing
slightly
this
longer.
menu
I
program.
probably leave it.
And
Not to
it's a
worry.
very, very nice, simple little system. But that's only half the battle. What we need to do is to get it so I can run that as soon as I switch the computer on. And this is called booting the system. I think it comes either from bootstrapping the system when you switch it on, or probably dim and distant past when there were Valve computers, and you switched it all on and the old electrons didn't flow, and you lifted up your foot and give it a real boot, and it sprang into life, and you got some code going. So we have on this particular machine to type *build* *boot, and then the first thing we want the machine to do when we switch it on. In this case, we want to chain menu, just as we did before. So we can escape from that, and I'll switch it off.
I've got absolutely no idea what he's actually trying to do here.
And then I'll do a shift break, and automatically I'm straight into the menu. And I hit a 2, and hopefully Steve's graphic will come up. It's a lot easier, it's very straightforward, it's very simple. And if you're interested in doing this yourself, we'll give you details on how to get more information at the end of the program. Well, next month, the government is expected to announce the date for the sale, discussing the possible effects of both privatisation and liberalisation on the phone service and how it's going to affect you. Fred will be reporting from America on the breakup of American Telephone and Telegraph, the company that at one time had a virtual monopoly of the phone service in the US, and will be doing parallels between there and here. While he was filming in the opening to that story on Madison Avenue in New York, unknown to him, I was also in town. Up till then, we'd not met, just seen each other on television. This is what happened on take 3.
It used to be simple in America. God was in his heaven and all was right with the world. IBM made computers. AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph, made telephones. And smaller companies supplied things the big guys didn't care about.
What are you doing about?
What are you doing talking to yourself on the
That's
street?
smart. For fuck's sake.
Hey, Maya, how are you doing? It's a pleasure to meet you, Mac.
Good to see you
God,
after all this time.
You know something?
I've only seen
You're
an
a lot
electronic
realer.
replica.
You're a lot realer in real life than you are in television.
Yeah, you've got more depth too that way.
And height and breadth and everything. You're wearing a tie today.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
They're
That's
filming this,
I
aren't
thought
they?
for New
Those
York.
sons of bitches are filming this. you sick, twisted, deviant
Motherfucker.
We thought you'd like it. I just came over for the day to see you.
Oh,
and
wow.
they said you're talking here in the middle of Madison Avenue, and I should come over and say, how are you doing,
You wanna
Fred? And
trade-
how did you get such a daft name anyway?
Well, actually, it was a nickname when I was a kid. I was madly in love with this girl in high school, see? She was gorgeous, but she thought I was cute, which is not what I wanted. Anyway, we started doing these guerrilla theater routines, and she gave everybody names. It's all very complicated. She gave me the name Frep, and I discovered it was a good name for artwork.
And I understand in the telephone book it's I am Fred.
No, it's just Frep. Although, boy, the things it does to computers around here, I am R. Frep to the telephone company because they took the M off Mr. I am Mr. Frep with no space to the electric company, and I am Mr. spelled out Frep to MasterCard. It's very strange.
So what are you going to do for the program? What interests you?
All kinds of things. I've been working with computers for years, okay, but in a small way, and I've changed my life with them. I'm fascinated seeing the way they're changing other people's lives, because when I bought mine, people thought I was some kind of alien. They said, computer, that's very strange, isn't it? In fact, I had to drive 40 miles out of the city to buy one.
I've seen them on the camera before in New York. Look at
There
them.
must be 50 within 100 yards of here. just about.
Damn close. Very, very close to that, yes.
Are people using them in the home in Manhattan?
Yes, more and more. You get a lot more things with microprocessors in them, of course. Microwave ovens, refrigerators, everything's got something. I mean, they'll have ballpoint pens with microprocessors sooner or later to help tell you when you've misspelled words.
Are you using some of the bulletin boards we talked about on that live show we did? Do you use them
As a
yourself?
matter of fact, one of the things I do here in New York is I'm co-chairman of an organization called the Centauri Users Group, which is Centauri is an Apple-based musical instrument, a computer digital synthesizer. And just last night, we organized our own bulletin board just for the 50, 60 members in the New York area to call into New Jersey, leave software, leave programs, new sounds, new samples, compositions, just, for the call.
And how many people are phoning in now?
Well, since we only opened it up today, I'll find out when I get home.
What sort of advice do you give to young kids when they're buying their first micro?
Well, save money. Things are changing so fast, and the power of computing is coming down in price and increasing in quality so rapidly that what they should do is look
I'm
at
still
what
trying to figure out what the whole point of him going across New York was. What's that demonstrating? No idea.
What they really need, and be able to spend their money more wisely.
I did see a Sinclair ZX80 at $36. It must be just about down to the price of a paperback book.
It's probably getting to the point where it's, I'd say in 6 months, you'll probably be able to buy one for the cost of shipping it from England.
It's great to see you. Great to be with you.
It's a pleasure
You're
to
coming
meet
out
you,
to dinner
Bob.
tonight?
Absolutely. I
Well
wanted
done.
to know something. Can we change jackets here? I was wondering if... Oh, come on.
Yeah, okay. Do you know, in the last 5 minutes, I mean, this thing's been so busy, about 40 messages have come in, so that means that although contributors have been alerted that they could leave
Stephen
messages earlier,
Robbie's
they're all doing it
he's
now, aren't
walking
they?
the Simon
From all
Hill
over the
with
place. We've got some from Australia,
Yeah.
some from Japan, some from the States,
Yeah.
and obviously me over here.
Yeah. How much do you know about all these people?
Well, when we set this up on Tuesday, I knew absolutely nothing. And to find out about the people, you can say PJ, which means Profile the Joiners.
Yeah.
And that gives you a list of everybody who's on the conference, who's decided to join.
Oh, yeah.
And Harry, myself, Dr. Tom, whoever that is, Norm C, that's Norman Choi, Cherwin, Shari, Maud Dibb, who's
Yeah.
Joey in Tokyo.
Well, Stuart, that was the American guy we had the first message off, wasn't
That's
it?
right, that was Stuart. So there are a list of names, and
Oh,
after
Neil
that
as
you
well.
can actually go in and you get a profile on a particular person, so you can begin to find out more about them.
We were talking about time difference. Presumably you do have to take that time difference into account. Because, I mean, for instance, American business hours have been, what, they're at the moment? aren't they?
That's right. That's why I thought we'd have quite a lot of difficulty with this demonstration, because, they're actually working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be irresponsible, really, to go diving in on their work
Exactly.
programmes,
Don't
rather.
interrupt. Go on.
I was just going to ask you then, how much does it cost to
Right.
contact, to do all this?
OK. We spent about £3 on the
Could you do the
satellite
next bit
time.
next month?
I will
I think
certainly.
we've got to stop now because we've
Okay.
been so busy talking around the world. We're going to leave poor Mac with no time to talk with people around the corner.
Right, local.
Well, one advantage about doing a live programme is you can correct mistakes as you go along. Orica phoned up to say that the Lasky salesman didn't quite get it right. There is a disc drive available, and it costs £269. And we do have some messages
Guys getting the
come
whip.
through. Good evening to all at Micro Live. Suggest you emphasise this is a 300 baud system, which is important. Hello to my dad, and hello to Michelle. Good luck to all at the Beeb. I think that means everybody. Greetings from Basildon iTech Computer Club. This programme is a great idea. Let's see more of it. Oh, I like the idea of that. Hello, Mac. Great programme. That's good. I like that. Hello, Micro Alive. What a load of old rubbish. This is my last one.
Hello,
It was a
Micro
long,
Alive.
pleasant
What's
show.
Wednesday Johnson's
Turn
tonight?
off my
Can I have
sense.
a phone
It's
number?
that clear. I like that. There's another one from Daisy Wheel. I'd like you and Leslie to come for dinner with me.
You're making them
Oh,
up.
there you go.
That's a good
Messages,
one.
please.
No,
Can I have my
that's-
messages?
Yes, you can. There's another one. I'd like you all to come to dinner with me and my boyfriend, Hugh Manfactors. You like that?
That's a pretty good name, isn't
Couple of
it?
swingers, I think.
Absolutely brilliant name, yeah.
Yeah, they live at Disk Drive.
And they live at Disk Drive.
It is.
What- I bet it's a very, very long number as well, Mac.
It is. The brother's called Icon. And they're going to an Indian takeaway prepared by Mr. Ram Chip.
And the guest personality is Dot Matrix.
Dot Matrix, that's
Okay,
actually beautiful.
okay.
Well, from next week, the Microlife bulletin board will be open all the time. But there will be a new phone number. It's 01 579 2288.
8055.
2288. Now, if you want more details about anything on the show, there are a number of ways to obtain it. You can, of course, get information from the bulletin board itself, or you can write into an address, which we'll give at the end of the programme for some programme
Could he open his collar
And if
any
you're on
further,
Telecom Gold,
possibly?
then you can find all that information by typing info BBC One, and you can also send messages to us on BBC 100, and you can find us on Prestel, page 80,000.
What the heck happens on all the other 79,999?
Don't know, Mac, I only got to page 3.
Page 3. Well done. Do something during the week. Well, there's information including programme listings on CFAX, page 700 onwards, and some of the programmes we've already shown are available on telesoftware. And after all that, if you haven't got a micro...
I'm just thinking that, yeah, why should I
you can
both
win a
islands?
BBC computer and £50 worth of software every week by entering a competition in the Listener magazine. And since few people who read the listener seem to understand computers, your chance of winning is rumoured to be very high. That's all for this month. The next programme is live on Friday, November the 9th. See you then.
That was a bit more fun. Some eye candy for a change. And there we have it, folks. That's it. Yep, that's another Watch with Mamemeister. I will be along again, same time next Wednesday. I'll be along on Friday for the Friday Waffle, and as always, I'll be doing another live stream on Sunday. So listen, thanks. Quite a good turnout tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I always enjoy watching these. It's always a lot of fun having you guys making all the witty comments and what have you. So anyway, listen, I hope you have the rest of the week's good, and I shall see you in the next video. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching.